Okay, hello everybody. If you can hear me, go ahead and put a question or something in the question box and say that you can hear us. Make sure everything is working okay. My name is Kelly Wise, and I am blogging with Massage Therapy World. And I also have on the line here Allissa Haines from Writing a Blue Streak, and we're going to talk to you today a little bit about blogging for your massage business, both from how to actually do some blogging and how to maximize your blogging. And I can see a lot of comments in here saying they can hear you. Um, and pens and Eddie's fruit bar in hand. All kinds of good stuff here. Excellent. So I'm going to start it off by turning everything over to Allissa and let her talk you through blogging for your massage business. So go ahead,
Hey,
Allissa.
Kelly.
Hey, Allissa.
Hi. 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 As Kelly said, I am Allissa from writingabluestreak.com, and I am a practicing massage therapist and blogger and marketing geek. And we're gonna jump right in. We're gonna cover an overview. My portion is covering an overview of why and how you might want to blog for your massage business. Um, So thanks for joining us. We're going to cover this overview, and then Kelly's going to do all the really hard technical stuff. But let's jump right in. Kelly, hit me with my next slide. So a lot of people wonder, Kelly, can you pop my next slide through?
There you
There
go.
we go. Yay! A lot of people wonder why you might want to blog for your massage business. And there's a handful of reasons, and we're just going to cover a couple of them. Blogging is a really great way to educate your audience. It is our job to teach people what we can do for massage, what massage can do for them, and therefore what we can do for them as your massage therapist. We've got to tell them if massage is really good for migraines. We have to let them know that it can be a really great way to help as an adjunct to physical training for some kind of event. People don't already know this. It's something like in the 30%-ish area of people have in the United States have received a massage before. And I would bet that probably half of the people who've received one don't even know what the benefits of it are. So we've got to teach them. And blogging and creating information on our websites is a really great way to educate our audience before they come into our office and after they come into our office to use it as a resource. And we're going to hit that resource bit later. It's a wonderful way, writing a blog is a wonderful way for people to get to know you. It is really wonderful to write in your own natural voice, and it gives people a little insight onto what your personality is like and what kind of a person you are. It can be very scary going into a massage therapist for the first time, picking one out, and then going to meet somebody. And it's a very strange phenomena. We meet our clients, they fill out a form, and then they take their clothes off, depending on the type of modality you practice. So that can be really weird and kind of scary. So having a blog, having posts written, having a website in full that reflects you as a person and as a practitioner is a really nice and comforting way for people to get to know you in their own comfort zone. They can be behind the safety of their computer and learning about you and reading about your practice and your work from a very safe space, and that can really warm people up to coming into your office and paying you for your services. A blog is a great foundation of knowledge. If you post regularly, and I encourage people to post regularly, at least in a perfect world once a week or a little bit more, but if twice a month is all you can do, that's okay too. You're going to create this basis of knowledge, this whole foundation, this encyclopedia on your website of information. So if you have a post about hamstring stretches, and you have a post about forward shoulder posturing, and you have a post about migraines, and a post about pregnancy massage, or more specifically a post about lymphatic work on the legs for pregnancy massage, you're creating this whole base of, hey, look at all the things that I know. And that makes you look really smart because you are really smart. You're a soft tissue specialist. You are the soft tissue specialist. And you're going to actually, when you write a blog post, you're putting that down and you're showing everyone how smart you really are. And then the last reason I've got up on here, why to blog, is search engine optimization. It makes it When you've got that type of content on your website and you're adding to it regularly, the Google bots are going to hit you up more often, and Kelly's going to talk about that. But I didn't want to forget to put that in my list because that's a really big reason to blog. Kelly, give me my next slide, please. So, yeah, there we go. There we go. I got confused. What do I blog about? This is the first thing that people say to me when they're a little nervous about starting to blog. I have no idea how I'm going to come up with what to blog about. But I would guess you've got people asking you questions all the time. And the best way for me when I started out blogging, and this is actually my second, what do I blog about? We'll go to the second bullet first because we're crazy like that. People ask you questions all the time. And even when you're a massage student, people are asking you questions all the time. So don't think if you're new at this or you're still a student that you can't be getting ready to write. People, what are some of the most common questions people ask? Oh, don't your hands hurt? Or how many massages do you give in a day? And just those basic questions. Or what's this? And we've got this going on my Facebook page right now. We're looking for a really good article about what what do we call knots and adhesions? What are they for reals? So you could do a little background on that and write a blog post about what that is. Or when someone, what's going on with the physiology of a calf cramp for runners. The people ask you questions like this all the time. If you pay attention to what clients and potential clients are asking you, you're going to come up with some really great ideas for blog posts. Let's pop back to the first bullet, things that matter to your ideal clients. So this is assuming that you know who your ideal clients are, and that could be a whole other webinar series, so we're not going to dive into that too much. But if you're running a massage practice, or even if you're an employee somewhere, you probably have an ideal client. Who is the type of client that you most enjoy working with, whose needs most match your skill set? It could be great. If you're really great at pregnancy massage, that's awesome. But if you're only seeing professional athletes, you're probably not going to get to use those skills a lot. So maybe they're not your ideal client. It's people you enjoy working with who have the problem that you can solve with your skill set. So if my ideal client is, let's say, desk jockeys, I am going to blog about things like computer neck, forward shoulder posturing, the achiness of the low back that happens when you sit for 8 hours a day. I might write a blog post about stretches for people who have to sit at a desk all day. I might write about how massage can be a complement to daily exercise, to combat forward shoulder posturing, to strengthening the rhomboids. If you think about the person you're looking to treat, you can figure out what matters most to them. And usually you can do this by listening to some of your favorite clients, and they'll give you these ideas. And then let's jump to the last bullet, current events and research. These are great things to blog about. We are so fortunate to have the Massage Therapy Foundation as a resource in the International Journal of Therapeutic Massage and Bodywork. I think I got that right. I always mess up that acronym, but it's on the MTF, the MassageTherapyFoundation.org website. It's a free journal available to us with research coming out all the time, showing what massage is and is not effective for. I wrote a post about lactic acid when the whole lactic acid debate blew up last year, talking about how it's not a waste product, it's actually a fuel. I took that right from the news and created a blog post about it because people ask me that question. So it was a combination of a current event, and it was in the news, and there was research on it, and it was a question of that people ask me all the time. Oh, massage flushes the lactic acid out of my muscles, right? As it turns out, no, it doesn't do anything for the movement of those fluids in the muscle, and it turns out it's a fuel and not a waste product. So now we know these things that we didn't know before. So we're lucky we have a great industry that's constantly changing, and that gives us a lot to write about, and it gives us a lot to teach and educate our clients about. Kelly, are there any questions popping up? I think I lost Kelly. All right, can I have the next slide?
There are no questions popping up yet.
Okay, I actually can't see the question bar, so I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. So I would, okay, great, we've got another slide. Awesome. Types of blog posts. This is what happens when Kelly and I run a webinar from opposite coasts. We're a little slow flipping back and forth. So, types of blog posts. I have three basic types that I use when I blog, and I chose these three for you guys tonight because they're what I cover in my blogging for your massage business workbook, but they're also very easy to understand. So we've got a question and answer blog post, which is very easy. Again, you're taking a question a client might have, something like, what's the best way to stretch my hamstring before I run? Or what's the best way to cool down my legs after I run? And then you write your answer. And then there's some more of a storytelling type of post, which is general info related to a problem or solution. So rather than being a cut and dried question and answer, you're going to tell a story within that and maybe use a little bit of an emotional hook to tug people in to using your services. It's not schmaltzy sales. You're not going to tell a lie. You're not going to make up a fairy tale. You're going to tell something true. So I might say something to the effect of, when I started running, I was having trouble with, let's say, my hamstrings. I would not write this post because that's not true. I haven't had problems with my hamstrings yet. I'm sure it'll happen tomorrow. But you're going to tell a story, or I have worked with several runners and I've found that this is a chronic problem. Here's a way that massage can assist in solving that problem. So you're finding a problem, tight hamstrings, and you're solving it with massage, and you're telling that story of how massage can help. And then there's real basic how-to and tutorial posts, which is, again, we talked about this already, like showing someone how to do something. So you could, and you can do this video or you can do this written, you could show shoulder stretches and pec stretches for people who sit at their desks every day. These are, there's a lot of overlap between these blog posts, but they're the basic types of posts that you can absolutely write. And if you think that this is out of your reach, you're totally wrong. Think about when you are doing an exit interview with a client. So you've worked on someone and they come out of the room and they pay and they rebook and you say, how do you feel? Does your shoulder feel better? And you might just show them how to do a couple shoulder rolls right there at your desk or right at the counter. You're doing this with people. You're verbalizing potential blog posts all the time. It just takes a little bit of practice to learn how to get that written down. So, Kelly, may I have the next slide, please?
Well, we do have a question.
Oh, we do. Bring it.
Yes. What is best, public blog or private members only?
I am not a fan of private members only blogs. I don't think that they really serve the purpose. I think that the point of a blog is to be public. It is to share your information with your potential clients and your client base. If you, I So I don't know, I can't figure the purpose of closing it. If you want to use this as a tool for marketing to build your business and to bring clients in and to encourage clients to return for more massage, there's no reason to keep it private. If you're afraid of putting your words out there to the world, I respect that. It can be very scary. You're going to need to get over it. You're going to need to practice, practice, practice. You're going to need to find a blogging buddy to help you, someone who can edit your work until you feel confident. And we go through some different techniques in the workbook too, but I don't see a point to a private blog. Do you, Kelly? Am I missing something?
No, I don't. And I think some of it is just a fear of saying something in public. But you know, the point of a blog is to share information, and there's no reason to hide this. I mean, there's nothing that confidential that you're talking about. You know, you don't name clients by name, that sort of thing. But, you know, what you're talking about is informational stuff that anybody in the public could benefit from. And the real, you know, one of the main purposes of blogging is to get new clients and to educate current clients. And it's very difficult to do that behind a privacy wall.
I completely agree, Kelly. So that's our question. That's our answer. Any other questions?
Yeah. How long should a blog post be? I could go on for hours about some topics. How long is practical?
Um, it's you got to do what works for you. Some people are really good at writing quick, short, 300 to 400 word posts that isolate one little thought. Some people, like me, tend to ramble and tell a story with each thing. So my posts tend to be longer. Although my blogging for my massage practice is actually much more concise than my blogging for you, my colleagues. So it's a little more concise. You got to do what works for you. If you find that a blog post is going over 1,000 words or going over 1,200 words, you can probably break it down into a series, and then you're getting more bang for your buck there. So I'm a big fan of breaking things up. There are some topics that simply require length. They require more thought, and they require more exploration. If you're writing a post about massage and depression, that might be something a little more intricate that you don't want to break up. That could be something longer. But if you're writing a post about um, uh, one type of strength, well, you wouldn't be using strengthening. I'm trying to come up with a really good example.
Well, a
If
pec
you're using
stretch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
doing one post about a pec stretch, you don't need to have it be really long. You're going to cover one problem and you're going to give one solution for it. So I shoot for 600 to 800 words ish. Sometimes I fall a little bit short about that on my massage blog. Kelly, what do you think?
I agree. You know, the nice thing about a really long post that can be broken up into pieces is it then becomes a series, and it gives people a reason to come back to your blog. But there are some times that some topics just require more words. I would just try to stagger those with some that are a little shorter. You know, to give your audience a break. People are not going to sit down and read a 5,000 word essay every week. But some topics like massage and depression will actually just require more words. So good answer.
I agree. Let's pop to the next slide, unless we have more questions.
We have one on would private mean other people can read it but can't comment on it? I think that means how do you feel about closing comments on your massage blog?
I I think it's a personal thing, and it's about how you want to use your blog. So let's kind of go back one step though. Private means that, in my mind, private means that people can't read it unless you give them access or a password. So that's what private means to me. Having comments is entirely up to you. If you want to create discussion with your clients and potential clients, then you should leave comments open. If you simply want there to be a base of information there for people to use as a resource, then I don't know that you have to open comments. I don't have comments open on my massage practice blog because the types of posts that I write don't really invite conversation. They're more teaching tools, and then the conversation happens when people come in, or it happens via email when people receive my post via email and they reply and say, should I do this for my shoulder? You know, I don't want a client under a pec stretch thing saying, is that going to be bad for my shoulder after my rotator cuff surgery? Like, it's not appropriate commenting. So I don't have mine open. Many specialists would disagree with me and say that I should. My response is that you've got to find what works for you. So that's
Yep,
how I feel about that.
and I would agree. Okay,
Excellent.
that's the
Okay.
last of the questions for this slide.
Fab. Okay, elements of a post. So again, we could spend hours and hours and hours on this, but I'm going to cover the basics here. A good blog post, you want to have a clear headline and a clear topic. So we want to know within the headline and the first sentence or two exactly what we're talking about. We want to know what our topic is. You want it to be obvious. You want it to be written in a manner that everyone can understand. If you're talking about calf strain, you don't want to start throwing around gastrocnemius and soleus and whatever without either properly defining them or being real sure that your audience understands what you're talking about. we have to write these for lay people because the bulk of our clients are not massage therapists. They're, we certainly have some that are, and we certainly have clients who are also medical practitioners, but we have to write this so that everyone can understand, and we're not going to alienate people within when they read this and they're like, I don't even know what she's talking about, and this is not even useful to me. So we want to write in a manner that people can understand using lay people terminology. And I always say write the way you talk. I certainly don't write as long-winded as I talk, but I do write in a tone that is similar to how I speak in my massage practice blog as well. And I aim for proper grammar, and I know the rules of proper grammar in writing. Sometimes I ignore them because I'm trying to get across tone and personality. But there's plenty of resources to help you with that. And everyone has a best friend or someone who's good with grammar and would be more than happy to edit stuff for you. As someone who has done a lot of proofreading, I can tell you that we are always really honored when people ask us to do that, because we're like, hey, we're really smart, people need us to do this for them, yay. So your friend who is good at writing will probably do that for you, and toss them a massage every so often. So you want to write it as lay people, in a tone and with wording that everyone can understand. All right, so the next thing, every post should include something we call the 3 C's. The client. We want to know who we're writing this post for. So I don't want to just start writing a post about how awesome massage is without thinking about how awesome it is for a specific client or type of client. I want to keep the post real specific and directed. I want to know who I'm writing it for. I want to know who my client is for the purpose of that post. It doesn't mean that every single post in my blog is going to be directed at that one client. I could have one post that's directed towards pregnancy clients, one post that's directed towards running clients. I'm using examples from my own practice because these are the populations I work with most. I had a friend whose practice was entirely knee rehabilitation. That's all she did. So her blog would be every single post directed towards people dealing with knee surgery and rehab. But you probably have a much more varied practice. And you probably practice multiple modalities. So you have to kind of figure that in too. You could write a post about craniosacral for TMJ and write another post about craniosacral for lumbar disc issues. And then if you're also practicing active isolated stretching, you're going to write a post about AIS for this or this. So you want to think about one particular client and how what you do can help them. So that's your first C, is client. And then the second one is your call to action. At some point, you need to tell them what to do. You need to call them to action. You need to tell them what action you want them to take, because we talked about this a little bit earlier. I mentioned how it's our job to educate people. Just like we have to educate people when they step into our office and say, okay, you're going to remove your clothes and put them on that hook there, and you're going to lie on the table on your back so you're looking up at the ceiling. We have to educate them in this blog, in this online medium, and tell them what to do. So, hey, I'm thinking about the client who might be 6 months pregnant, and the call to action is, if you're experiencing low back pain and instability, call now to make an appointment. It doesn't have to be that obvious. It can say, you want to be pretty obvious, it is a call to action. But it can be something more like, if you're experiencing low back pain, consider if massage can help you, and have that be a hot link to your scheduling page, which is your third C, the connection. If you tell someone to call you and then you don't give them your phone number right there, right on that same page, or you don't create a hot link right to your scheduling page, or you don't connect them with what they need to make this happen, it's not going to happen. So you've got to give them that connecting information. You've got to create that connection. So we want a clear headline and topic. We want to write it in a way and provide information in which everybody can understand. And we want to have the 3 C's: client, call to action, connection. All right, Kelly, are there any questions?
Nope.
We're hitting the next. Nope, you went backwards a slide. Okay, so let's go forward. I think we just went backwards one slide.
No, we went forward.
And, okay, why am I still looking at something's up. We are not at the right slide, so please go forward again. Because it says, okay, and then next, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. So There we are. Technical glitch.
Hey, we're 3 hours
Um,
apart here.
I know. I'm ready for bed and Kelly's ready for dinner. Okay, so we have an example blog post by my friend Leslie, who is so graciously, first of all, she's a wonderful, wonderful writer. And she is so gracious to let us use her post. So this is I just cut and pasted a little bit for the purposes of what we're going to talk about. So she has a title that says, "Oh, my aching feet." And then in the very first sentence, "I wore heels or had a standing job all my life. I have plantar fasciitis and pain everywhere." So right there, she's talking, we know in the title, she's talking about aching feet, and a lot of people can identify with this. And then she talks right away up, mentions the term plantar fasciitis and pain. And she talks right away about heels or had a standing job. So she has isolated her client. We're talking about people who stand and or wear heels, and so they have foot pain. She immediately identified that client and she made the topic of her post and the headline very, very clear. So that's perfect. She did a great job there. And Leslie writes in a really wonderful manner, and we're going to examine her blog post a little bit further. Kelly's going to, but Kelly, if you can pop me to the next slide, that would be super good. Okay, and again, this is just isolating again. She really is honing in on that particular client. Treat the effects of the years of nursing shoes. So she's further. I think we can probably isolate that she works with a lot of female clients because she mentioned heels, she mentioned nursing shoes. Of course, they're male nurses, but we're talking about what we're talking about, so let's move on. And she's done a really good job of expressing how she understands their pain and of isolating that client. So let's go to the next slide, Kelly.
There you go.
Awesome. Take the time to look over my website, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. So she's putting that offer out there, and then she says you can contact me through the website, and you're always welcome to leave comments. So Leslie does open up her blog to comments, which is a wonderful conversation piece. And then right there below with the second blue arrow, she gives both phone numbers. So that contact me link goes right to her contact page. And so, you don't have to have online scheduling to do all this. You can just have a contact page on your website. And even if you've got that phone number listed on your other page, you want to have it right in front of people too, because a lot of people aren't going to flip to the other page. You want to have that phone number right there. So she gives us everything that we need. She isolated her client. She created that call to action, and she offered that connection. And she gave us the tools to do that. And Kelly, I think I need to go to the next slide.
Okay, just a quickie for people that are wondering.
Yes.
We are recording this and we will make it available later. We've had a couple people ask. And somebody wanted to know if there is such a thing as blogging too often.
Probably, but I don't think any of us are at risk for it. Here's the thing. As long as you are, that's a good, Kelly, what do you think?
No, I don't think that any of us are ever going to write so much that we're blogging too often. You'll see some bloggers blog every day, but they're professional bloggers. Some people will do it as infrequently as once a month. If you look at some of the big news outlets, the blog aggregators, they'll have 30 or 40 blog posts a day from different bloggers. People will come if you're blogging a lot, they'll scan your stuff, and if it's interesting, they'll read it. If not, they won't. But no, I don't think that any one of us is going to blog too much.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening. If you were to create like one post every single day and they got emailed out, if you allowed people to subscribe to the blog and you emailed them every single day, you would end up people would unsubscribe when you got annoying, but you would end up calling the herd to people who really want to hear your message every single day. But if you have time to blog every single day, I'm wondering why you're not seeing more clients, quite frankly. So I don't really think that's an issue. I think, once or twice a week is awesome. If you can do 3 times a week, rock it, sure. I don't really think it's going to be a big problem, though.
No, I don't either.
Answer. That's awesome. I've never been asked that. That's so cool.
Yeah, most people are like, well, how often do I have to blog?
I know. I think once a week is ideal. You can knock out a blog, once you get a little better at it in an hour and a half or so. I think it's good. So there's that. All right,
Mhm.
pop me my next slide. All right, so that's it. That's my segment. Ooh, right at 9:31. You want to be useful and informative. You want to provide a useful resource to people. And you want to be yourself. And I can't state that enough. You've got to be yourself. If you are a casual and happy person, do not try to write in the most stodgy way. It's okay to write how you speak, and it's okay to be who you are. And have a friend proofread it to make sure you don't look ridiculous, but you probably don't. If you've got any clients coming in and coming back, you're doing okay. And this is a tool to help you have more. So remember that you're a soft tissue specialist and be yourself. You can totally do this. All right, take it away, Kelly.
Okay. So,
Oh, and Kelly, I just want to let you know, I actually can't see the questions being asked, so you'll have to monitor your own questions, okay? Sorry.
okay. So oh dear, not only am I 3 hours behind, you know, Allissa lives in my future. So, you guys are asking great questions. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about blogging to maximize results. And this is the more technical aspect of blogging. Now, I know I'm going to talk mostly about search engine optimization because I know a lot of people are worried about that. It's one of the ways that new clients will find you when they search for stuff on the web. And you're going to have things that are your main keywords. And when I say keyword, I'm not talking about one single word, just so that we understand that. A keyword can either be the word massage or it can be the word massage for autism. Okay, that is a phrase I will call a keyword, just so we understand that's what we're talking about. And I teach people how to write copy and stuff for their websites and to capitalize on main keywords. The main things that you want to be found for, the massage, the city that you're located in, and the primary things that you treat. But the nice thing about blogging is it really allows you to expand some of the keywords that you can be found for. So, when you're looking to pick keywords, especially for blogs, which, like Allissa says, will let you talk about other topics. It'll let you get into more detail. It'll also have more content around some of your main keywords. And Google really likes to see the more you're talking about, say, plantar fasciitis in more blog articles, the higher your website as a whole is going to rank for that. So when you're looking to pick keywords, and I see people do this a lot, is they pick keywords that they are familiar with. And much like Allissa said about, talking to people in the language that they understand, when people go into Google and they're looking for something, typically what they're typing in is a question, a how do I, or a, what is wrong with me sort of thing. So they're not going to be writing about myofascial release. They're not going to do a keyword search on that. What they will do a search on is, I have foot pain. What are the causes of foot pain? That sort of thing. So I want you, when you look for keywords, is to pick things that are relevant. You're not trying to rank for things like umbrellas. You're a massage therapist, so you're going to pick terms that are relevant to massage. I mention that because I've known some people that think that they're going to rank well for, Brad Pitt, and that's going to bring all the Brad Pitt fans to their site, and they're going to cash in on that. It doesn't work that way. If you go to a website and it's not what you think it's about, you'll leave. So it's the same thing with you. Find keywords that are relevant to what it is you do. The other thing is, you want to find keywords that people are actually doing searches for. It doesn't do you any good to rank #1 for a keyword that only 2 people in the world are looking for. You might get both of those clients, but that's not going to fill your practice up. So you want enough keywords that enough people are looking for that you can actually uh, get enough traffic to your site. And then the other thing is you want keywords that have very little competition. So for massage therapists, you will never rank high enough for the word massage by itself. There are too many people competing to rank well for the word massage. So give it up. Don't even try. What you want to do is you want to rank well for more of a niche within that massage. Massage, pregnancy massage, massage for low back pain, massage for TMD, massage for pregnancy. That's the sort of thing you want to look for. Go for keywords that people are looking for, but that are not being heavily competed for. If you type in Google, type in massage, the people that are going to rank highest are going to be like Massage Warehouse, Massage Envy, and that sort of thing. They have too much weight already to Google for you to ever to be able to compete well against them. So that's kind of where we're at with keywords. Question: how often do the Google Cylons change their algorithm? How often does Google change their algorithm? Every day. Every single day. And I'm going to give you the most important thing, the most key point, that if you do this, you can get out your little pencils and write this down. If you do this one thing, when Google changes their algorithm, it will not hurt you. What you want to do when you write a blog post is you want to write something that people want to read and that people want to share with their friends. That's really what it boils down to. What Google is trying to get with their search algorithm is they want to provide people with relevant information. So if somebody is asking what causes foot pain, and you have an article about what causes foot pain and it describes plantar fasciitis and some of the treatments, and somebody reads it and they're like, oh my God, that's brilliant, and they go on Facebook and they share it with all their friends, you're going to rank well. And the next time that Google changes their algorithms, like the Panda update or the latest was the Penguin, you're still going to rank well because you're doing what Google wants you to do. You're writing good quality information that people want to read and want to share with their friends. Do that one thing and you are golden. Let's see. Is there, we'll talk about the redirect later. So that's how you pick keywords. All right. So where do you use these keywords? Because a lot of people, they get hung up on using the keyword in one place and they think that that's going to make them all their searches. A lot of people are hung up on getting the keyword in the domain name and that's it. Well, there's only so many Massage Seattle that are available. So the problem with having Massage Seattle is one person can have it, but there are probably 1,000 massage therapists in Seattle. So don't get hung up on that one place to use it in your URL. It's great if you can use the word massage in your URL. Like my business is Mountain Shadow Massage, so that tells Google this website is about massage, and then the content within that website should also be about massage. So other places you can use it are the site title. So there are all these hidden bits of code in your website that don't show up in the text, but one of them is in the site title. And if you use something like WordPress, it's very easy to go in and set your site title. And mine says Mountain Shadow Massage. Then we have the page title or the tagline. And for my home page, it has massage serving Lacey and Olympia, Washington. So now I'm getting the city, the massage in there for my keywords. The next thing is in your meta description. This is a description of what your page is about. If you do a Google search and you see the result on Google, it'll have like the name of the page, and then underneath it, it'll have a description. And that is 140 characters is what Google is going to display. So when you're writing your description, it isn't War and Peace. Try to be pithy, try to be succinct, try to make it brief. And really my meta description says something along the lines of therapeutic massage serving Lacey, Washington, Olympia, Washington, and Greater Thurston County. So that's my meta description. The other place you want to use your keywords is in your headings, and those are H1, which is usually your blog title is going to be H1. Then you're going to have heading 2 and heading 3. The other is in your image alt tags. And those alt tags were originally designed for, first of all, when we were on dial-up modems. And so the pictures wouldn't actually load very quickly. The description would come up. And the description would be, this is a photograph of a woman washing clothes by hand. So in that alt tag is where you're going to have information that is also keyword centric. So if you've got a photograph of somebody doing a pec stretch, then your image alt tag is going to be something along the lines of how to properly perform a pec stretch for the treatment of rounded shoulder for computer workers. And try and hit your keywords in there. And then lastly, you want to use your keywords in your page text. And that's all the stuff that you actually sit and type. Okay? In the headings, so somebody asked about in the headings, the text of the headings, yes. So the headings, when you have like a WordPress site, you've got H1, which is the blog title. You don't want to use H1 anywhere else in the post. H2 and H3, and Google tends to ignore H4 and 5. And I also like to use H2 and H3 to help break up the text. It helps break up these big blocks of text, and it makes the page more readable. And then it also, people tend to scan the internet, and so they're going to scan those headings. And if the headings have your keywords, it should also give the person scanning a reason to stop and then read the paragraph below it. Okay? So where else can we use it? Anchor tags. And that's in, if you have, I don't know how many people have optimized their websites for the phrase click here. It just cracks me up. You've got, for more information, click here. And the part that's actually clickable is the words click here. Now, what that is click here becomes what's called an anchor tag. And Google says, oh, well, this page that they're referring to, if you've got another article on icing feet for plantar fasciitis, then this plantar fasciitis is related to this word click here. But that's not what you want. So your anchor tag, what you should say is click here, and then the clickable part that's actually, your anchor tag should be for more information on icing for plantar fasciitis. So you want the parts that people click on to be used with your keywords and not the phrase click here. The other thing on your blogging is you can sort your blogs by categories and tags. And those categories should also be in your keywords. Massage, plantar fasciitis, low back pain, pregnancy, whatever it is. The same thing with tags. And then inbound links. So inbound links are when people link to you from Facebook or from their website or from their blog. Those are considered inbound links. The quality of those links are good. So if you're going to post about your blog post on Facebook, you don't want to have the words blog post and have that clickable. Again, you want to use those keywords in that clickable text. Here's my latest blog post, and this is clickable, plantar fasciitis and massage. So that's where you're going to use all these keywords. Now, using the keywords in the text, there's something called keyword density, and that's how many times your keyword appears versus all of the other text. Now, how do you know if you're using it too much? If it sounds like you're using it too much. It really becomes, does it sound natural? Are you using the phrase too often? It shouldn't be too high, it shouldn't be too low. Between 2 and 4% of keyword density is considered good. If you want to check the keyword density of a post or of a page, I have a link here. Google Rankings. Google has a lot of tools for you. And so you can actually go in and see what your keyword density is for a particular blog post. But anything more than 4% is going to be too high. It's not, and Google's algorithms will actually take into account whether or not the language sounds natural. So then I call in my class I teach about the long tail, and that's all of the keywords that don't have a lot of people searching for it. But when you gather up all of those different keywords that don't have a lot of people searching for it and add them together, that's actually going to be a huge volume of people searching. All right, and that's where blogging is awesome, because you can have individual posts that are optimized for some of those smaller terms. And because you're blogging once a week, you can have a lot of different articles. You can also write series. You can also capture anything that's timely. Like Allissa said, when the article first came out about lactic acid, that was an opportunity to jump right in and write about lactic acid and massage. Because your clients are going to hear about it in the news. You can also be very specific. You can target a blog post to a single keyword, because again, over a period of time, you're going to have a large volume of posts that are in your library. So you don't ever delete old blog posts unless, if you find out that the information is just dead wrong, you would go in and edit them, but you don't ever delete them. So you will end up with this huge library of information out there. And then you can also just really target your blog posts to specific keywords. Now, I'm going to use the example from Leslie Forrester, who's been very kind to let us pick her blog post apart. So Alyssa's shown you that Leslie is actually following the 3 C's, and she did an awesome job. This is the entirety of the text that I got sent, and there's some weird characters in there. But let's take a look at it in detail. So here we've got this top one up at the top is what the URL looks like. And she's got the phrase, "Oh my aching feet." And then in the title, which is going to be the page title, is going to be "Oh my aching feet." So if her keyword that she's targeting is aching feet, she's using it in 2 very prominent places. It's in the URL and it's in the page title. So let's go down to the right after that. Common question or complaint here. She's talking about plantar fasciitis. Now, some people are probably searching specifically for plantar fasciitis. And so she's using it first in that first paragraph. So the other thing you want to do is use your keywords early in your posts, because that will also affect their weight. Now, the next paragraph, again, she's repeating the phrase plantar fasciitis, which is good. And then she's also got a third search term, which is foot pain. So she's got aching feet, plantar fasciitis, and foot pain. Now, down here, she doesn't have any of these keywords that she's using in this paragraph at all. Although she is using the word massage, but it's so far apart from plantar fasciitis or foot pain that it's not really doing her any good. When you look at the next one, she's got a lot of myofascial and technical terms, and she's doing a really good job of describing them. But again, most of your clients are not going to be doing a search for the word myofascial. They don't know what it is. So she's not getting a whole lot of search engine optimization in this paragraph either. And again, in the next paragraph, she's not using any of her keywords in here either. But again, she's giving them a description of what she's doing. And in her call to action, she's not mentioning foot pain, plantar fasciitis, or aching feet. So let's look at some of the numbers. She's got a total of 530 words in this post. Yes, I had a count. She's mentioning aching feet twice. So she's got a keyword density of 0.4%. Same with plantar fasciitis, and foot pain is at 0.2%. She's not using any of these in, well, she's got one in the title, she's got one in the heading, and she's got it in the description. She's got plantar fasciitis. So she's not really using a lot of keyword density. She's not really making the most of what she could have as far as search engine optimization with this post. So if I were to write it, or if I would give her suggestions, I would make sure that she gets her keywords into the title. She's got "Oh my aching feet," but I don't really know how many people are doing a search for aching feet. I want her to add some headings into the post. First of all, it'll help break up some of the text, and it'll make the article a little more scannable, and it'll also, provide a little more search engine juice on some of her keywords, and get those keywords into those headings. And again, they don't have to sound unnatural. She could have put in a heading about, fascia and plantar fasciitis, or massage and plantar fasciitis. And then in the paragraph below, she talks about it. I'd like to see her increase her keyword density just a little bit. Use some of those keywords in those following paragraphs and get your keyword density up to, if you were to use plantar fasciitis 2 more times in the article, you'd be at 1%. And that's going to be a little closer to what Google thinks than the article is about. And then make sure that that keyword is something that people are searching for. People are probably looking for plantar fasciitis. They are probably doing searches for foot pain. They are probably not doing a lot of searches for myofascial release. So that's kind of where we're at for search engine optimization stuff. And I'm done at 6:52. SEO question. I know.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So this seems kind of scary and overwhelming when you get into all the technical stuff. And my question is, are there programs or widgets or plugins that will help you do this? For example, on a WordPress blog?
There is a plugin. It is a premium plugin, so you have to pay for it. It's called Scribe, that will go in and analyze a lot of your search engine optimization. WordPress in itself will help you. You can actually go in. A lot of the themes will allow you to go in and rewrite the description for the post. When you write a WordPress post, what will actually be in the description for Google will be the first 140 characters of your text by default. What you can do then is actually go in and change that. So Leslie could have gone in and changed her description from being those first few paragraphs to being an article about how wearing high heels and nursing shoes and spending time on your feet has caused plantar fasciitis pain, and how massage can help with that.
Interesting.
Um,
Cool.
Scribe will also tell you about your keyword density and whether or not you're getting them in headings. For people that don't want to spend the money on Scribe, you can just sit and try and do it yourself. There is, for plugins for SEO, there is a wonderful plugin called All-in-One SEO, which a lot of people use. It's done by a guy named Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T. That's not actually how he spells his name, but he's like, Norwegian or something. And that's a really good plugin. Some of the themes, if you're using the premium theme frameworks like Headway that I use, or Genesis or Thesis, they have a lot of the SEO features built into the theme itself. So they will help you out a lot in that. Let's see. So that Leslie says she writes the way she talks and she's hopeless at keyword density. That's, it takes time, Leslie, and it takes some practice. And what I would say is continue to write in your own voice. Really do that, but after you write it, sit down and decide for yourself what keywords are you trying to target for, and then just do like I did. Just go in and count them. and do a quick word count of what you've got. And I would say just slowly try to get used to writing so that you're running at about 1% or maybe 2%. And if you find that you're not using the keywords enough, start adding them in later paragraphs. Just add them, and again, it should sound natural. But you could have used the phrase plantar fasciitis in some of the later paragraphs, and it would have sounded very natural. But it does take time. It's not something that you're born knowing how to do. You know, you just got to practice on it. And let's see. Is it better to pay for a website for your blog or to use one of the free sites available? So if you use WordPress.com, they are doing the hosting. And if you do that, I suggest that you go and pay for your own domain name. And so that it is www.kellywisemassage.com. If you're using one of the freebies like through the AMTA or the ABMP, what's happening is you are a subdomain. And so the main domain name is amta.com/kellywisemassage. And so what's happening is the AMTA or the ABMP are actually getting the biggest share of the search engine optimization. Now the problem with using WordPress.com is if you ever get to a size and you want to migrate your blog off and move it, say, somewhere else, it's very difficult to migrate off of it. WordPress.com is also very limited on the number of plugins you can use, so you can't use like the SEO. You can't do a lot of customization on it. If you were using WordPress as your website, which if you look at Allissa Haines massage therapy, the Haines massage,
So
that's
HainesMassage.com.
HainesMassage.com. That is a WordPress website. And WordPress can be designed so that it looks like a static website and you get the blog for free. And it's very easy to configure. So, and I love WordPress because it's very easy for people to go in and edit their websites and add Valentine's Day specials and then take them down, and they don't have to call, their web designers to do all of that for them. So I prefer that you pay. Web hosting will run you about $110 a year. Domain name is going to be about another $20. So your entire expenditure for a website is under $150 a year. It's going to be one of the biggest bang for your buck as far as advertising and marketing stuff. What if your site sounds natural, but your keyword density for something accidentally happens to be through the roof? Will Google think you're a spammy bastard? No.
No, but I will.
No. No, because
Arg.
because it should sound natural. And Google's algorithm is actually getting smart enough to know if it sounds natural. What they really hate is when people go, Justin Bieber, free watches, yeah, Justin Bieber,
That's
free
awesome.
watches. I do tech moderation for Headway, and one woman has her website and her site title. If you hover over her website URL, her site title is something like 200 or 300 characters long, and it's actually something around 50 different words. And we keep telling her to cut it down, that Google's going to start punishing her because that's keyword stuffing. Okay, so if it sounds natural, you will not be a spammy bastard, although Allissa may come in and slap her around. So you use frameworks, Genesis, Oasis, and what else in WordPress? The biggies for the frameworks are Headway, Genesis, Thesis, iThemes Builder. Catalyst is new, and it actually looks pretty good. They require a little more work, but they will allow you to do some really good customization.
All right, we're coming up on 10 o'clock. Do we have any other questions we want to answer quick before we sign off? See anything exciting, Kel?
All I've got is, do you need a website and a blog? Yes. Yes. Your
Well, your
website
blog should be part of your website, integrated.
integrated. It's just like I said, it's free. And you should have a home base. The website is your home base. Facebook is not the home base for your business because Facebook can take their bat and ball and go home anytime they want. So, and then Chris says, write like you talk, but what if I use words that you can't use in TV?
Well, here, you want to write like you speak to your clients. I'm guessing you don't sit at your desk and bust out a lot of swears. You want to write like you talk as a professional. We all have versions of ourselves. Um, so, you want to be the professional version of yourself. Don't be an asshat. There you go.
There
That's
you
a word
go.
I can say to my colleagues that I don't say to my clients. Don't be an asshat. I can say that here. I wouldn't put that in my client blog, and I certainly wouldn't sit at my desk and call my client an asshat. So you get where I'm going there. Be a professional version of yourself. Write it as you would normally speak it with all of the inappropriate words, and then go back and fix it if you need to.
Yes.
I also think I swear, but I don't swear in my blogs. I very rarely, even in blogs with colleagues, do I put that out there. People make jokes about me swearing, but I don't do it in my writing. It's not how I want to put myself out. So you can make your point without using dirty words.
Hmm.
So
But
I think we
I
can
just
combat
like the
that.
general rule: don't be an asshat.
Yeah, don't be an
I
asshat.
I think we should make
Takeaway.
it as T-shirts.
That's your takeaway from this. Don't be an asshat.
Don't be an asshat.
Awesome. Anything else, Kelly?
No, that's it. I want to just thank everybody for showing up and for your wonderful questions. And this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
And I say the same. You're going to get a follow-up email from us with some resources and a link to the recording in case either one of us talk too fast. And you can fast forward through all of our boring parts too and go right to the asshat fun. And thank you. And thank you, Kelly, for playing with me and doing this webinar.
And thank you, Allissa. All right,
Good
everybody
night,
go
everybody.
off and have a great night.